virtual kids that are watching, if you guys are writing down these problems, just make sure to hit pause and write them down before we get started. And then you guys can just hit play when you're ready to do the work. So this first example is super similar to the one that we did yesterday in class. So we're selling tickets to a musical just like we were yesterday. We're just selling different amounts. So it says on the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 6 adult tickets and 7 child tickets for a total of $148, and then took in $98 on the second day by selling 6 adult and 2 child tickets. And we want to know the price of each one. So in this case, we are solving for two things. What are we trying to find out about the tickets? The price. So that is one thing I always want to stress, is that last statement almost always tells you what you're solving for. So this is going to help you identify your variables. When I highlighted that, it just marked it out, didn't it? Well, let's not do that. Lesson learned. No, that was a highlighter. I want to make sure I didn't grab the wrong thing. All right. Okay, so we'll just underline. All right, this is going to tell us what we're looking for. Now, you can use any variable of your choice. I always recommend just using X and Y, but you can use anything that you would like. But I always just, I don't know, sometimes different letters get confused with numbers, and X and Y is kind of just something that always looks like X and Y. So the first thing we have to do is we have to decide which one are we going to call X and which one are we going to call Y. You know, say, do you guys have a preference on which one is the adult ticket and which one's the child ticket price? All right, so I'm just going to write them as I see them. The adult ticket is what I see first. So I'm just going to say X is going to be my the cost of an adult. And then Y is going to be the cost of a child. And do you see how I put that $sign there? So I know that it's going to be the cost and not how many tickets. All right, and then just like we did yesterday, they sold tickets on 2 separate days, so we want to write an equation for each day. So for that first equation, it says we sold 6 adult tickets, so that would give us a 6x, 7 child tickets, so that's a 7y. And what's our total on that first day? 148. All right, and then on the second day, it says the school took in $98 by selling 6 adult tickets and 2 child tickets. So what would be the equation that would make sense for that second day? You know, say, how many adult tickets did we sell? All right, so we got a 6x, and we always want to line up our x's and our y's. All right, and then this time we have 2 child tickets, and then that equals a total of how much? 98. All right, now on this one, do we need to multiply? All right, Gretchen, you're nodding your head yes. You know, say we don't actually have, we have 2 6x's, but in order for those to eliminate, we need one of them to be positive and one of them to be negative. So that very first thing that we did is, in indicator 15, if you see one, if you change that to a minus sign, what do you have to do to everything in that equation? We got to change those as well. So we're going to change everything to a negative. So now we have 7 minus 2. So that gives us a 5y, and I'm going to write it over here. 5y, 148 minus 98. Is 50. And so that gives us a y value of 10. All right, so that's telling us that a child ticket is $10. Do you guys think the adult ticket's going to be more or less? You think it's going to be more? You say, let's see. Do you guys want to use the top or the bottom equation to plug that 10 back in? I'm going to say, you guys are allowed to talk. It's okay. You can answer. You guys want to use the top or the bottom equation? All right. Any reason why you picked the bottom versus the top? Yeah, numbers are a little smaller. But I now know y is 10, so that becomes 6x plus 20. And then we subtract our 20 from both sides. Now I'm running out of room again. What is 78 divided by 6? You guys have your calculators? 13. Oh, look at me. I got my variable mixed up. All right, so we have x is 13. So you guys thought the adult ticket would cost more. I definitely agree with that. And so then just make sure at the very end to label your solution. So we can simply just say $10 for a child and $13 for an adult. And we are done. All right, so we talked about this yesterday, but I want to go through, just make sure on all of your problems, the first thing you do is identify or assign your variables. The second thing you do is you set up your equations. The third thing is to solve. And then the last but not least is to label your solutions. So just make sure that on each one that you have all 4 of those. All right, you guys got to tell me what you think. I know you guys are really quiet this morning for some reason, but I'm going to say, do you guys have any questions on that? All right, if not, let's go to this next one. All right, we're finding the value of 2 numbers if their sum is 11 and their difference is 3. What's it mean if you're finding the sum? All right, if you're finding the sum, you are adding. And what's the difference mean? Subtract. All right, so we are going to have 2 different numbers. So they're not the same value. They are different. So we just need to say, whenever you have something like this, you would simply just say, let x equal the large number, and you're going to let y be the small number. All right, so if we are adding the 2 numbers together, we know it has to equal 11. So we simply just write our 2 variables. Our large number plus our small number is going to equal 11. And then we know the difference is 3. So when we subtract the larger number minus the smaller number, we get 3. You're going to say, do we have to multiply on this one, or does something already eliminate? Look at your signs. You're going to say, tell me what you guys see. What eliminates? The y's. All right, so then we got 2x equals 14 and gives us an x value of 7. And then you can pick, I'm going to pick the top equation just because I don't like negative numbers. So I got 7 plus y equals 11. Subtract that over, and I get y is 4. And on this one, you don't really have to, I mean, there's no labels to add to these because the answer is just a number. So you can simply, for your solution, you can just say that there's 7 and 4. You know, so there's just not a lot that you can do to that one. So I actually want you guys to skip number 3 for a second, and I want you to go down. We just did 2, a sum and difference problem. I want you to jump down and try 4 by yourself. So take a look at the question. You're going to set it up just like we did the second one. Say, what do you guys think about my 2 numbers? Do you guys agree with 5 and 8 or disagree with 5 and 8? And honestly, does it matter if you write 8 and 5 or 5 and 8? That it doesn't tell you. Now, if I asked you what's the larger number, then you would want to tell me the larger number's 8. But on this one, it's not specific. It just says what are the numbers. It didn't ask for an order, so you're good to go. All right, so we're going to skip number 3 for just a second. We're going to jump down to number 5. It is a little bit different than the other ones that we have done. So on number 5, you are looking at, I need to get this adjusted. There we go. All right, so it says John owns a motel with a total of 50 rooms, and he charges $80 for a double room and $90 for a king room. And when it's sold out, he collects a total of $4,150 per day. And we want to know how many of each type of room does he have. So what are we trying to find out about the rooms? Do we want to know the price of the room, or do we want to know how many rooms we have? All right, we want to know how many. So we're looking for a number. It's not going to be, whenever we label it, it's not going to be a dollar sign. We want to know how many of each room. So the first thing we have to do is we have to decide, we have X and we have Y. We have 2 different types of rooms. What's the first type of room that the hotel talks about? A double room. So those are like your hotel rooms. You walk in and there's 2 beds. So that's a double room. So let's just let X be the number of double rooms. And then Y is going to be the number of king rooms. All right, now on this one, we're only talking about 1 day of sales, but we have 2 different totals here. What's the first total that you're given in this problem? 50 rooms. All right, so we have to set up an equation first. We know something is going to be a total of 50. Now, that has nothing to do with price. So we just know that in total, the number of double rooms and the number of king rooms put together should equal 50. So on this one, you just write x plus y equals 50 with no prices attached. So we know that we have a total of 50 rooms. The double rooms plus the king rooms is going to be equal to 50. Now on the second equation, that second sentence, everything has to do with money. It tells us how much we charge for each room, and then it gives us a total money collected. So how much was each double room? $80 for each double room. So we're going to write 80x. Now how much was each king room? 90. And then our total money collected is $4,150. So on this one, we are going to have to multiply. Do you guys want to eliminate the x's by multiplying by negative 80, or do you want to multiply by negative 90? Say there's really no difference. Say, Maggie, do you want to multiply by 80 or 90? All right, let's multiply by 80. And we have to multiply by negative 80, so that way the negative 80 cancels with the positive 80. So our new top equation is going to be negative 80x minus 80y. What is negative 80 times negative 50? Or negative 80 times positive 50, sorry. There we go. Because we know 8 times 5 is 40, and then we have to add 2 zeros. So then whenever we eliminate, we get 10y equals 150. So divide that by 10, and we got 15. So if that tells us that y is equal to 15, what do we know? What did we just solve on this problem? All right, we have 15 king rooms. So I know I have 15 king rooms. And then I can plug it back into the original. X plus 15 equals 50. To solve to get 35 double rooms. So on this one, we have 15 king and 35 double. All right, so I do want to give you guys some time in class to work on your assignment. So, well, let's jump back. I want you guys to try 3 on your own. I'm actually going to stop the recording. Virtual kids, if you have questions, just send me an email, and we can chat tomorrow on our virtual day.